Hello, everyone, and welcome to Change with Me, where we talk all things change. Today, I'd like to discuss anti Black racism. As you can see, I'm a Black woman. I'm a Black immigrant woman who currently resides in Toronto, Canada. And if you think that anti Black racism does not exist here in Canada, think again. I've had my share of experiences, both personal and professional, with anti Black racism. And although it looks a little bit different than it looks in the US, it's a little bit more subtle here in Canada. But believe me, it's very prevalent. Nonetheless, what I've experienced during my time in Canada is nothing compared to what I've seen in the past 2 weeks. And I'm speaking specifically about a video that we've all become very familiar with by now, where we watched a man beg and plead for his life for 8 minutes and 46 seconds while police officers, who are supposed to protect and serve, by the way, stood around and watched him die. And one in particular was kneeling on his neck while he begged and pleaded and left us with what has become the outcry of Black people globally. I can't breathe. What am I saying? I'm saying that sometimes it takes horrendous events such as this to bring about change, but change is possible. Believe it or not, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. And this is going to take much more than us protesting and saying how much we can't breathe for this problem to go away. This systemic anti-Black racism requires real change, and real change means changes to the systems that are in place to condone anti-Black racism. I'd like to leave you on a positive note, however. We've seen some positive change over the past few weeks. What have we seen? We've seen the Black Lives Matter Plaza in Washington, D.C. That's a positive change. We've also seen the Breonna law, where there's the banning of no-knock warrants. That's a positive change that's come about. We've also seen the Amy Cooper bill, which is a bill against false reports based on race. Another positive change. Well, in Canada, we've also seen some changes, and one of them is within our healthcare system. We've seen anti-Black racism declared a public health crisis by the City of Toronto. That's a positive change. We've also seen race-related data being collected, and that's a positive change. Imagine, what gets measured matters, and our data wasn't getting measured. So what was the underlying message to us? That we don't matter? Black lives matter. Our lives have always mattered, and our lives will continue to matter. So in the meantime, we will continue to protest and use our voices and speak up against anti-Black racism. We will, and I encourage you to let us continue to change the world by using our voices and making these positive changes, both individually in our own lives and in our society, so that Black lives can continue to matter to all of us. George Floyd's daughter, she's a little girl, poor girl, lost her dad, but there was a smile on her face when she watched us all coming together to fight this systemic anti-Black racism. And she said, her daddy changed the world. I would like to encourage each of you, let us do our part, even if it's a small part. Let's do our part in changing the world and making it a place that's free of anti-Black racism. Until next time on Change with Me, take good care of yourselves, and remember, Black lives do matter.